Right, so hello, welcome back to the channel. And who here remembers Dele Alli?
Wave after wave.
Because the only person recently who's even been bringing up Dele Alli's name is his old boss and the current Chelsea boss, Mauricio Pochettino, who says he wants to help revive Dele Alli's career. Pochettino was saying that he'd like to give Dele a call, and he thinks that he's still young enough and with the right guidance, he can still be a top player. But what actually happened to him? Quick break just to tell you guys to subscribe to the channel. It's free. What a bargain that is. And if you could share it around as well, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's try and grow this channel together. Right, back into the video. Now, under Pochettino at Tottenham, it was definitely the peak of his powers. He had 55 goals, 52 assists in that spell. And alongside that, Sir Alex Ferguson was telling Jose Mourinho to get him at Man United. That was the only player he was begging him to sign. And you also had the likes of Real Madrid, who were slotting in £100 million bids, supposedly anyway, for Dele Alli. I mean, we're not talking about an ordinary player here. We're talking about someone who had exceptional talent. He broke through into the MK Dons team as a teenager. He played there for 4 years, 62 games, and he got 18 goals. And he even played in the 4-0 thrashing of Manchester United in the League Cup second round. Louis van Gaal's maybe his lowest point ever as a manager. The kid was unreal. Tottenham then bought him for £5 million and immediately loaned him back to MK Dons for the remainder of the season, where he had another 12 games, 4 goals. And for a teenager, these are sensational stats, really. Immediately when he came back to Tottenham after the wee loan spell back at MK Dons, he was placed in the starting 11. I mean, he came in as substitute for his first appearance, but he even got man of the match in his first North London derby, a 1-1 draw with Arsenal. And it looked like Tottenham were really building something with him, Eric Dyer in the midfield, you have Moussa Dembele there, a young Harry Kane up top, the experience of Eriksen, but also still a young Eriksen, and a really solid defence and goalkeeper at the time as well. Times were looking really promising for Tottenham and Dele Alli. Things were going so well for Dele Alli, and he even impressed so much halfway through his first proper season at Tottenham that he got a new 5-year contract extension. Then, after that, he scored that goal against Crystal Palace. One of the best goals I've ever seen in the Premier League. The composure from the young man, it was brilliant. It was such a good first season for him overall. I mean, he got 10 goals in 33 games with 3 assists, which for a 19, 18-year-old, that is really, really good, especially when he's still learning the game. And he got rewarded even further when he won the PFA Young Player of the Year award, an award that still carries so much prestige even to this day. The following season, 16-17 season, it was arguably his best year. He played 37 games. I mean, he only missed the 1 game, and that's because he got a red card in the second last game of the season. And he even scored 18 goals as well in that. He won the Young Player of the Year again.
Man, the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
And he nearly won the Player of the Year. And I just remember, I was sitting next to Gary Mabbott.
Oh, friend, football friend.
At the Tottenham Southampton game where they won 2-1 and Dele Alli was playing, he scored a penalty. And Gary Mabbott was telling me how, if it was up to him, he would build the team around Dele Alli, not Harry Kane, none of that. Dele Alli, he was saying he is the one that he is the most afraid will one day leave the club, hopefully for an astronomical fee if he ever was to leave though. That's how good he was. And the next year, against Real Madrid in the Champions League, he gets a brace, and that's when the sort of £100 million deals and rumours were coming from that Real Madrid wanted this guy because he tore them apart. He was clearly the man of the match, as he was in all these big matches for Tottenham. The following season, they get to the Champions League final where they narrowly miss out against Liverpool, and there's just so many wonderful memories of Dele Alli before Pochettino got sacked. And we'll get onto that in a second, but you've even got his England career as well. He made his England debut in 2015, his first season at Tottenham as an 18, 19-year-old coming on against Estonia for Ross Barkley. Then he gets included and plays in the Euro 16 squad. I know it didn't pan out for England, shout out to Iceland by the way, but at the same time, he then went to the World Cup in 2018. He played in the semi-final where England yet again were so close to making the final. And he was a key piece in all these teams as well. He was going to be England's next great superstar. So what happened to this wonderful footballer? Well, Pochettino got sacked by Tottenham. And that's really what changed it. They then go in a completely different managerial direction, bringing in serial winner Jose Mourinho, and he gives one of the most famous speeches ever, which I'm sure everyone's seen on that Amazon All or Nothing documentary, where he's talking to Dele Alli saying, life is over in a flash, your career will be over in a flash, you need to work for it. And Jose Mourinho cussed him out as well, calling him effing lazy as well. It was clear he didn't get on with him. His form under Mourinho got worse and worse, and eventually Mourinho was gone. They bring in Nuno Espirito Santo, and he looks to put Dele back in the team, but he was gone within an instant, and then all of a sudden Dele's back out because they bring in Antonio Conte, who is so similar to Jose Mourinho as well, in the way that he demands a hard work ethic, a solid defensive performance, and he is a serial winner, which obviously Dele doesn't really enjoy in a manager. In the spell as well, he got taken out of the England side, he missed Euro 2020, and then all of a sudden he's out of Tottenham, and he's off to Everton under Frank Lampard. I mean, Jesus Christ. And after all those £100 million links to Real Madrid, Gary Mabbott telling me that he was scared of losing Dele Alli, but we'd hope it would be for a large amount, he left for nothing at 26. To go to Everton. Yes, there were instalments that go all the way up to £14 million, but at the same time, he didn't even play enough games at Everton to get repaid back to Tottenham. So Everton send him to Besiktas, where it again doesn't pan out. He has a massive falling out with the manager and the squad. The manager doesn't like him, and he is exiled from the team. And the manager, even at one point, didn't even know where he was. He was like, I know he's injured, but I don't have a clue where he was. And eventually he's gone back to Everton, where he currently is this summer under Sean Dyche. Now, can Dyche do anything with him? I don't actually know. But I've got some reasons as to why Dele Alli went from a future England great, one of the best players of all time, to a no one. First of all, which I've slightly touched on already, is the manager situation. Poch is a brilliant manager. He gets the best out of his players and knows how to properly develop players to blossom into a great player who can go on further in their career. Whereas the change to Jose Mourinho, where he doesn't care as much for development in players, he wants serial winners. He will get rid of players who don't fit his system and get in players who will. And if you're not willing to adapt to his system, he doesn't want you there. And the exact same thing for Antonio Conte as well. I mean, he tried him for a bit. He tried him in the Europa Conference League, and it was just apparent that he's not Antonio Conte's kind of player. So that's why they got rid of him. The second thing as well is, I think he had so many games at such a young age, and he constantly had these wee nagging injuries that would keep him out for a game or two. Then he would come back with his back spasms. You would always see him with tape on his back, and he just never properly recovered from that. He wasn't given the right time. You look at players like Iniesta wasn't properly in the Barcelona team until 22, 24. He was always in and out. He was protected, whereas Dele Alli was in every single team for Tottenham, every single team for England. He would play constantly, and I think it caught up to him, and that's why he has all these wee nagging injuries that he's never recovered from. The third thing I think is apparent in a lot of young footballers as well. They're given too much money, too much fame, and way too much pressure from the media from such a young age. I mean, he was probably on over £100,000 a week on a 5-6 year deal at Tottenham at the age of about 20 or so. And then you look at the media who are touting you as the next Gascoigne, the next Rooney in a way, and that pressure can be a lot. With the influence of social media, a lot of these players are always checking on apps like Twitter, they're looking at Sky, BBC, and they're seeing what's being said about them. And that can really damage their development in there. Then finally, there's the thing that I think it is the most. I think at this current point in time, and especially when he was fighting for his place under Jose Mourinho at Tottenham, even Conte as well at Tottenham and Southgate at England, he's lost his confidence, he's lost his self-motivation, and he's just lost his motivation for the sport. Look, I am not saying that that's exactly what it is, or that is Jose Mourinho's fault. Jose Mourinho tried to help him as much as possible, but I don't think he had the work ethic to get into Jose Mourinho or Antonio Conte's side, or even get back into the England squad. I think he was challenged, and I don't think that he wanted to ever be challenged. I think that he wanted to be the sort of best player that you would build around, and that if he hadn't got in a game or two not going well, he's got that arm around his shoulder saying, it's alright son, you'll get them in a game or two, these things happen. But he just never found that hunger and that appetite for the game, and he lost it, and he never wanted truly to get that back and go up and try and be a Ballon d'Or contender, which he was compared to be at such a young age. I mean, a loss in confidence and self-doubt, they're two massive contributions as to why a player loses their ability. And don't get me wrong, I think he's still got his ability. I mean, he's what, 6'3", he's massive. I don't think you use him as a striker, but I also think the death of the number 10 position has really affected him. He's not that workhorse in midfield, which he was when he was coming into the Tottenham side. And then he's not that finisher, that sort of number 9 that managers have tried to make him. He is a number 10, but the number 10 position is no longer in football. And it's the exact same situation that I believe Kai Havertz is currently in as well. He's not actually got a position. He's not a midfielder. He's not a striker. Same goes for Dele Alli. They are the same mode, just German and English. And then you've got the likes of Philippe Coutinho as well. That number 10 position, perfect for him. But now it doesn't exist, so they try and bung him out on the wing, but he's not got the speed to get past players. And it's sad in a way. So what's next for Dele Alli? Where should he actually go? Should he stay at Everton? Well, I don't believe he should. I think he does need to get away from England, and I think the team that should go in for him is Rangers. I think he'd be a perfect player for Michael Beale. He's that sort of superstar with a big name, and he can revitalise his career a bit like Scott Sinclair did when he went to Celtic. I mean, Rangers are looking for attacking players, that sort of number 9, but also a number 10 as well. They've got Campbell there. But I think Dele under Michael Beale would be really, really good. Am I mental in saying that?
You're a lunatic!
I think Michael Beale would be able to restore his confidence. He'd be able to guarantee that he would get 10 plus goals in a season, which is what he needs. He needs that confidence, that boost there, and he needs to get back on the pitch scoring some goals. So why wouldn't you do it? Well, obviously the money is a factor there. He would have to take an outrageously big pay cut, but with the promise of European football, a potential chance to get back into the England squad, I know that is so unlikely, but that's what the promise should be. A chance to play football, get a smile back on your face, and just get scoring again. So let me know what you think about Dele in the comments below. Do you think his career will be revitalised at any point? Do you think Rangers is the right club for him? Or do you think he should go elsewhere? Please give a like, give a subscribe. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. And give a share around. Get your gran watching, I'm sure she would love this video. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.